What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a not live edition of the Burly Fishing podcast. We're truly saddened that this is not live. I would love for this to be live, but you know what we're not sad about? Fishing the St. Lawrence River and catching giant smallmouth. So we are on a trip right now. Yeah, fingers crossed, Paul. Right. So
I already caught up.
Now we're not there at all. Now there was somehow a hurricane has struck New York and we didn't make it. So, barring any insane acts of God, we'll say, we should be on the St. Lawrence right now. We should be smacking some fat smallies right now with some pretty cool people from Monster Bass. So, fingers crossed, you guys. You cross your fingers for us. Hopefully, that's where we are. And if we are there, you're probably seeing some Instagram updates. We're probably posting some stories. We're probably going live. So you might want to stay tuned to the social medias. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. And we're really excited to talk to our guest tonight. We wish we could have brought you to him live, but just, stuff's going on. This guy's really busy. But we're excited to talk to him tonight. So we got Ryan Yin. Fisher Yin is what he goes by. Started out big on TikTok. Didn't start out big. Became big on TikTok. And is also doing YouTube and all sorts of other social medias. So Ryan, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. This should be fun. And you've already done a podcast with Lojos. I mean, like, this is, a minor
B-roll.
12 story step down, but we got you covered, bro. It's gonna be a fun conversation tonight. We're excited to learn about what you got going on right now and what you got coming up. It should be a good show. And all you guys listening and watching right now, since we're not live, I'm gonna give you the spiel anyways, right? So be sure to subscribe, smash a like, ring the notification bell, do all the things, follow us on all the places. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're all over the place. And speaking of TikTok, I mean, we got a TikTok guy right here, so he's probably gonna teach us a thing or two. So don't be surprised if we just blow up in the next couple of weeks. All right?
This is mostly just going to be an informational session that we didn't want to pay for.
So
I mean, y'all already had Larry. Did he teach you anything?
Not enough.
We can learn more.
He was closely guarded.
Yeah. Larry was like, I'm not giving out all my secrets. No, Larry was like, I have created a PDF of all my secrets. It is a casual $9.99.99, and if you pay that in 2 to 3 installments, I'll give that to you. So yeah, he's a businessman at heart, man. He knows what he's doing. But let's get into the show, right? You guys, by the way, if you're listening to this or watching this right now, if within the next, where should we do this giveaway in? Like a weekend?
I was gonna say a week. I don't want to do it on the show because we'll definitely forget. You know what? You could do it on the drive home.
Could do it on the drive home. Are we driving home Sunday?
Driving home Sunday, 24th.
I'm just time traveling right now. This is one of those shows, you guys, that's gonna really mess with your head because we're like recording this 4 weeks before we post it. We apologize, but here's the deal: we're gonna draw a winner on Sunday, whatever date that is. What date of October is that? 24th. On October 24th, which is several days after the recording of this episode is aired, we're going to draw a winner from the comments below. So you have to comment on the YouTube video. That's right. There's no chat, no live chat. We miss you guys. Trust me. But if you comment on this video below, we're going to choose a random comment to win the $25 Monster Bass gift card. And we're still going to do Slow Rolling Thunder. So we're still going to have a blast with Ryan at the end of the show. But here's the deal. Comment below. I'll choose a random comment by Sunday at, we'll say, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you win the gift card.
7 p.m. Eastern, but the comment should be related to the answer to the first question.
Oh, no.
The comment should be your answer to question number 1. You'll see why. This is the titillation to keep people engaged all the way through the episode. Stay tuned.
Paul just wants to know.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Ryan has
it's
no
more
idea.
of like
Ryan's gonna find out.
This is like a score. This is like a scoreboard. It's a heat check. Let's see what's going on. All right, so
Cue the D. Let's do this.
Cue the D. Let's kick off the show how we like to do it. So cue the D. Question of the day. No right answers. Some can be more right than others, though. Or there are no wrong answers, but some can be more right than others. So here we go. So, would you rather, while fishing, wear clothes that are permanently wet, or wear no clothes at all?
I wasn't ready for this question. Whoa! All right.
I'm going clothes that are permanently wet.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it depends.
if you're on like a private lake with like no one else around.
Yes, I think that's a good qualifier. Let's assume that you're not going to get arrested by doing this.
Okay. And also like season, if it's like summertime, that would be pretty comfortable.
It's summer for sure.
Okay. Winter time would be horrible.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what if it's winter on a public lake, like you're ice fishing?
Optimal nude conditions.
Optimal nude conditions.
Overcast, nice and warm.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh God. Are we demonetized yet?
I'm just wondering which way are we going?
I mean, permanently wet clothes. Like, it depends on where you're fishing for sure. But if we're assuming it's public, then I guess we're all gonna be just wet and sad.
I'm assuming that you could make the choice either way and you're not going to get arrested. So let's just assume no one's going to see you. Let's assume you're going to be relatively comfortable.
Okay.
But you're not wearing any clothes.
I mean, we know where Chaz stands on this.
Chaz is for sure going.
Chaz is going
no
full
coverall.
Chaz already fishes with like no shirt, no shoes. He's already like
he's one article of clothing away. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. Be interesting.
It would be full hook set. It'd be so awkward.
Oh no. See, all right. So you just brought up a great point. I don't think I could do in the nude just because I'm snagging my lure in a tree. And then I'm going to try and pop it out, and then it's going to come back skyrocketing at me at 297 miles an hour. And those hooks, yeah, they never hit my face.
No,
nope. They hit somewhere else. And if I'm not wearing permanently wet clothes, like I'm not safe. I'm going to go, yeah, I'm sticking with it. Wet clothes. Done.
All right. Ryan, what's your answer? Ryan, final answer.
I'll go with the safe bet of choice A.
Final answer. I like it.
Final answer.
All right. So everyone's going to be soaking wet clothes. I like this question. I might have to get weird with it for the rest of them. So let's get into the show. The question we like to start with everybody. It's an easy one. When did you actually start fishing?
I started fishing around 8th grade. My dad taught me how to bluegill fish when I was a wee little boy, but I really got into bass fishing around like the end of my middle school years. I kind of taught myself because no one else in my family really fishes that hard. So it was all like I would watch videos on YouTube, go out on the water, and apply what I learned, and have to deal with the consequences of not having like a mentor that I could look up to and like actually ask questions. Because the first time I took my bait caster out, I had just bought a bait caster that was like $40 or something, but I put like 6-pound mono on it and I popped the frog on there. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for a cast with this. It's so easy. Zing it out there, but my whole spool blows up, and then I have to like put it all out. I'm like, okay, this is a little harder than I thought. So that's when I started fishing.
Totally fair. I remember I did not buy a bait caster until I had been fishing for like 3 years or two or 3 years, maybe even more. And I didn't really even get why I would need one. I'm also like fully self-taught. Like I have watched virtually zero YouTube videos, even up to this point, like very few. And I'm just stubborn. It's not out of anything smart or good at all.
It's very
just, like,
stubborn.
I'm very stubborn, and I like to like make my own mistakes. And I remember the first bait caster I bought was like a Black Max, and I stood. We have a place on Lake St. Clair on the Canadian side, and I remember standing at the break wall, and I probably cast it and tied and retied and tied and retied and broke off and tied and retied and bird's nested for like a week straight. And then I actually did go look up a YouTube video of like, how do you, because I knew I didn't have it dialed. I didn't understand anything that was going on. And I was like, I must watch it. And I actually went and watched YouTube video, and they were all really bad. I didn't stumble across any good ones. I picked up like one good tip, and that was like the tension adjustment. Like, and that was all I really needed. But like, yeah, I did not stumble across Debo's Fishing. I did not stumble across like Fishing with Yin. None of that. Like nobody good. And but that actually the bait casters actually drove me for the first time to watch my first fishing YouTube video.
Hey, at least you didn't start out by tying overhand knots and breaking off on bass every single time. That's
Dude,
what I did.
that
For
No.
literally
that's
so many bass.
awesome. That's
That is-
really that's great.
That's so painful. That's so
Yeah.
painful. Like it's
Like,
funny.
why
Like
is it breaking off?
Yeah, what's happening?
you just
You
do
didn't
like a
loop,
little,
swoop, and pull. God dang it.
you gotta wrap it around and do a little bunny ears, obviously. Dude, that's funny. Like the first reel, the baitcaster reel I had was a Black Max as well, and I remember struggling so hard with it. But I went braid. Like the one thing I had heard was like you got to go with braid. That said, when you don't dial in your baitcaster and you have braid, getting that bird's nest out is next to impossible. So I definitely sacrificed several spools of braid. It was pretty bad.
I think
To
I think
learn
people
that
who are
lesson.
I think people who are good at fishing like forget what a real bird's nest is. Because like when I bird's nest now, I can like
You
pluck
can pull it out
and
in
like
5 seconds.
and
Yeah.
so- you know what I mean? Like just kind of fiddle with it and it'll pop out. I forget like when it was so horrific and
Like the bottom of the spool
braid.
comes up and over.
Yeah, yeah, and it
Like,
folds in.
this-
It like implodes and folds in on itself. I think you forget about that like after
But
using
you
one
have to
for
take
so
your
long.
reel. You take your reel and you just have to put it into an incinerator, and you're like, I guess I gotta get a new reel. I can't even get the braid off.
Yeah,
It's
you
real
definitely have. Yeah, you have to have like a whole ceremony for RIP. Like that black.
Put it on a raft.
Another one bites the dust.
Send it out.
Set it on fire.
Flaming arrow. Like you gotta
Just
take it
take
at
your-
Viking burial.
Just take your buddy fishing and you'll remember what it's like again. Let him throw
I-
your baitcasters.
I take my buddy fishing every weekend.
How's that go for you?
Terrible sometimes, great other times.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh.
He means me. If you haven't watched our YouTube channel, we do fish together pretty much every week. So
Every week.
that's the deal. He's stuck with me.
Right. But I mean,
So-
you have a bunch of fishing buddies that you take out too. So like,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna get into them. I'm sure we can
Yes.
talk about them in the show. One thing I did want to point out just before we continue on with the show, so that everybody has a proper perspective, we'll say. How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 18.
You're 18. Cool. I bought my first baitcaster when I was 26. So
Wow.
you're 18 now. And like Paul was saying, we've mentioned it on our show before, like we're late starters. Like I have a picture over here of me at 3 years old fishing for bluegill as well. Like my dad and I did that. I fished the big lake stuff, but mostly like downriggers. So like we were just fishing Michigan, Lake Huron mostly, but like just Great Lakes, like perch. Like that's what we did. And I was kind of bored by fishing by that. But then getting into bank fishing, kayak fishing, I started doing that more with Paul. And he started shortly before me. So yeah, we've been at this what, Paul, like 8-9 years.
Like that,
At this
16
point.
years, yeah.
Well, you've been at it a little longer, but yeah, like not that long. So we are what we call aggressively average anglers that also started late in life, and we're also almost double your age. So I just wanted to give a perspective for the show, a little, make myself feel real good, mostly. And let's continue with the show.
Well, but I think that's really cool because, like I look
Crazy,
at some,
right?
yeah, I look at people like yourself, right? And I have a lot of admiration for people that are really young that like stumble into things that like they just knew that they were passionate about and decided for whatever reason that they were just like going to go for it. Because I wish that I had known myself well enough to do that. Like I did not know the thing to like go do. And like Jeff talked about like starting late. Like I didn't get into hunting until I was in my 20s, and I didn't even get fishing until I was like in my 20s. And it's like if I had really been exposed to that, whether it was friends or family or whatever, or on accident, like which is essentially what happened. Like I may have been doing this when I was 19 or 25
Mhm.
even, or whatever. But like I did not know myself well enough to know it. Like no one's, oh, I would love to go hunting. That would be sweet. Like I'm gonna go do that now. Like I just never had it. So I admire you that like you knew yourself well enough to be like, oh, not only do I really like hunting and fishing or whatever, but I like making content as well. Like I feel like that's the thing that gets overlooked. Everyone's like, oh, you like to fish, you like to fish, you like to fish, you like to go out with your friends and fish. I'm like, dude, that's not what you're actually doing. Like, yes, you love fishing and you love it so much that you almost like stumble across the thing that you really like to do, which is like making content and teaching
Yeah.
beyond fish and interacting, which I think is just amazing. So one of my questions was like, how did you or when did you, you started about like, yeah, fishing at an early age. When did like the social media sort of transition from like, I'm posting about where I ate breakfast with my friends to like, hey, like I'm making fishing videos now.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I think it was about 3 years ago when I first started my channel. It was like 2019 of December. Like I think it was the 24th of December. But all like the way it happened was so weird because I was it was like getting around Christmas. So I was like, "Hey, Dad, can I just have a GoPro so then I can just record my fishing sessions and then I can rewatch it later?" So he's like, "Yeah, sure. So you can go ahead and pay half of that GoPro." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it." So
Classic dad.
I split the bill of the GoPro with my dad. It's a GoPro Hero 7. Still use it, 7 Black. Still use it to this very day.
Nice.
It hasn't really died on me just yet. But I kind of like my thoughts about like YouTube at that point was all about just capture fish catches and then I'll be able to watch it later on. So uh,
And was it like, oh, I want to see what were you trying to learn on your own, or were you just like, I want to see like this
Relive
badass
this
fish that I
moment.
caught or whatever? Like what,
Yeah.
like which way was it?
I guess it was also a way for me to document my journey of becoming a better angler in a way.
Sure.
Because, yeah, I was like, do I have it? No, it's in my garage. But at that time, I was throwing a bit. But at the time I started my YouTube channel, I was already throwing a bait caster, but it was like my first bait caster. I was throwing it on like a 6-foot medium light crappie casting rod, and I was literally throwing all bass fishing lures on that thing. So I was
love
throwing
this.
frogs, jigs, chatterbaits, all that stuff, and like the rod every single time would just like bend like this. It's not
Double
natural,
over.
but like
Yep.
that's like from me just reeling in a chatterbait.
Yep.
But I didn't know any better, and I was like, and that's also I started my YouTube right after I had caught my previous personal best of 5 pounds. Like something about beginner fisherman and that like luck, It's like you barely know what you barely know what you're doing, but then you go out and then you somehow catch a really big fish on the line, and then 2 years later you can't catch a fish bigger than that, even when you know
Dude,
a lot more.
So true though.
Brutal.
It's so unbelievably true. Like I think about, and granted, some of this is because of weather pattern and like things that have changed where I started fishing, but like I used to catch giant trout all the time. I could go and I could tell you like, oh, when I first started like fishing the river, I could go catch like a 16-inch brown trout, like that was a guaranteed. And like I would probably get into some like 18, 19s, and if I got lucky, I might even get like a real big one. And people would be like, no, no. And I was like, no, yes. And then like 2 years later, like I would not catch anything. I'd just be like not catching a single fish. I'm like, what happened? I'm supposed to get better. No, you get worse.
Right,
don't, don't get
and-
worse.
example of like this beginner's luck is like I literally in the past few months I took out 2 friends who caught fish bigger than my PB, but thankfully I did end up breaking my PB not a few weeks ago when I was down at South Carolina with Fletcher the fisherman.
Yep.
He got me on some huge fish, but regardless, back to the story of my 2 friends. So one of my friends, I took catfishing. Okay, he doesn't fish at all. So I put a piece of like cut bait on his hook and I chuck it out there. I see the rod moving. I'm like, all right, here, dude, you reel it in. It's your catfish. He reels it in, and then a big bass jumps out of the water right in the middle of the river. I'm like, what? And so he fights it and reels it in, and it's like almost a 6-pounder, just barely a 6-pounder. And I'm like, dude, no way. This is literally your first serious fishing trip, and you already catch a fish bigger than what most people catch in their lifetime. So then, and I'm in Virginia, by the way. So 6-pounder is like a 10 in Florida.
We're in Michigan, dude. We get it.
Okay.
Come on, man. You're talking about a 3-pounder in Michigan? We got you, bro. I get it.
All right, and then about this weekend, I think it was this past Saturday, I literally took my friend fishing at this one pond. The bite really wasn't that good. I mean, I caught a little bass on the jig, and then I'm like, all right, I tie on a chatterbait. I tie on a jackhammer for him. I'm like, all right, just throw this around. They'll eat it. He throws it right into the pads, gets it snagged. I'm like, oh, okay, there he goes.
Thanks, bro.
There he goes, a $25 lure. He
Yeah.
somehow manages to like rip it out, but because of like a bass must have just thought it was a bait coming out of the pad, so it was a reaction bite. And then he's just like standing there holding his rod straight and just like reeling. He's like, "Hey Ryan, I think I got a fish." And I'm like 20 feet away. I'm like, "No, he doesn't. He's reeling in some pads." And then I walk a little closer to him, and he's like, "Oh no, Ryan, it's a fish." I look at his line, and it's like 10 feet from the bank, and it's just darting all over the place. I'm like, "Whoa, that's a fish." So I'm like, "Okay, dude, you got a fish. Start reeling it nice and easily." I show him how to position himself, and then all of a sudden, this huge bass head just kind of surfaces. I'm like, "No way!" And I help him land it, and it's a 6-pounder.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Yeah.
We
So
had
neither of these guys are your friends anymore, right?
Yeah.
And
ipso
you don't
facto.
fish with them. Yeah, ipso
I
facto.
need 2 new
you
friends.
have disbanded the group. I got it.
Jeff,
I mean, that's what I would do.
Jeff and I years ago took a friend of mine out bass fishing. Now he's from Zimbabwe, and so his expectations of like big fish, like, because he doesn't fish when he's there, but he like is, there's like a culture of like big fish fishing, and they catch like
Yeah.
big fish, right?
Like real
like-
big fish.
Yeah, but he's like, but I told him, I was like, yeah, I mean, like if you catch a 2 or 3 pounder bass, like that would be like a good fish for like where we're gonna go. We've never
Mhm.
been here before. I don't know if the fishing is gonna be good or not. We were driving like hours and hours. We were like 4 hours north to like a random place that like we did no research on. We're just like, hey, there's camping and there's like 3 lakes close by. We're gonna kayak
There's
fish.
water. There's probably fish.
And we can drink beer. So like that's what we're gonna do. And so
Mostly that.
yeah, we get up there. It's raining. Like it's just not great. And he's using like my 3rd backup rod on my wife's extra kayak. He has never bass fish. He is not a fisher person at all. And we get on the water, and he's like slapping the water like with his oar. He has like no idea his paddle. He has no idea what he's doing. And I hand him like a 6-foot medium, and I hand him a light spinner bait, and I'm like, you can't mess this up. Go nuts, man.
Seriously.
3 casts in. 3 casts in. He slaps what is just a dead ringer, like 4-pounder. And this thing would have weighed way more than that if it wasn't like the middle of summer. This mouth, I have a picture of it. I'll never forget this moment. He's holding it like this. And the fish's mouth is here. He's holding the bottom of like this, and he's got like the other end like this, like it's a tarpon, and he's like he's holding this thing, and he has this huge grin on his face, but and then he just goes, "Look what I got," and like throws it away, and I'm like, no. He had like no respect, no understanding for what he had just did. He's like, "Look, a bass!" But throws it back, and I'm like, "Bro!" And I told him, I was like, "You're not catching any more fish this trip. I don't care what happens. It's not gonna happen." And yeah, he caught nothing
he
else the
didn't.
rest of it. But yeah,
But we were struggling at that time. The funny thing is, you and I were struggling. We were like, dude, what do they want?
It was
And
brutal.
yeah, he caught that. Then he caught nothing else, and then we caught fish. So I mean, it had to happen.
But it
Sometimes
was,
you
dude,
gotta
and
sacrifice a friend.
he gets out there, freaking 10 minutes into the trip, and I'm like, your trip's over. Like, you're done,
Yeah.
and you've already just slapped the giant. Yeah, it never
I'd
fails.
be okay with that.
Oh yeah,
You got
but
a near 20-inch bass.
Oh, yeah.
4 pounds. I mean, you're okay.
It never fails. So did you your kind of like entree into social media was with the GoPro? Was that on YouTube, or was TikTok where you started?
No. Back then it was like Musically still. I didn't touch it at all. And I'll get into this stuff about like Musically TikTok later on, but no, I just uploaded simple videos onto YouTube. I edited them all with my phone, and that took so long because you have to like drag and your clips, upload them, and it was just like so inefficient. Thankfully now I do everything through a computer, so it saves a lot of time.
Dude, I feel you there. I was using my Mac from college for the first, Paul, like 250 videos? Like,
yeah, 200 videos for sure.
Yeah, we started in 2019 and like late 2019, maybe end of September. But like, yeah, I was doing them all in iMovie on my Mac, and legit, if I didn't see the spinning beach ball of death in 5 minutes, I was like, yes, this is a good day. Because it would just take so long just waiting for each clip to like render. It was ridiculous. So I feel your pain, man. It ain't fun. But yeah, are you on a PC now or are you on a Mac?
No, I'm on a MacBook Pro.
That's what
That's all I use.
I can't believe. Maybe that should be like a slow rolling thunder question, Paul. Is like Mac or PC? I ran Macs for, honestly, dude, like, I don't know, since 2007, and this last year changed. So just saying, it's Chaz's fault. Chaz did that. He actually.
I think it's actually my fault because I had a really bad experience with an Apple.
Oh, you hated Apple forever, but you had an iPhone.
I had a really, really bad experience with an Apple, and then and I was going to buy another one, but they were so expensive. They were so much money, and they were like not any better. Yeah. At the time, they still are, but at the time I was thinking, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna cost me like $3,000 more, like more than the whole cost of my computer extra, just to get the same thing in aluminum. I'm like, they got this guy who's on my screen above me, Chad, that no one else can see, who actually knows stuff, and everyone was like, dude, go get a PC, go get a PC, and I'm like, fine, and here I am, much happier. So yeah, it's become a trend with Jeff and I. We're like anti-Apple at this point.
Want to know the story about the current MacBook I'm using?
Yes.
I bought it. Well, my parents bought it for me for like college and stuff. But literally, the first week, everything was fine. And then by the end of that week, all of a sudden, while mid-edit, the motherboard overheated, and literally the whole thing died.
Oh,
so then that was 1 week in. So I went ahead and got a replacement because, it's still during the 1 year
warranty
protection thing. I'm like, okay, that was just a faulty computer, nothing bad's going to happen. 1 week after that, my whole touch bar just doesn't work anymore. So it just died. So then I had to get this sent in, and they had to replace it with a whole new touch bar. And the thing is, like, when I send it in, it takes like 2 weeks for it to come back to me. So I couldn't edit for that whole time.
Which doesn't sound that bad. 2 weeks, you're like, for a new, for like a giant company like Apple to replace something on your computer doesn't seem that bad. But when you are in like social media, like terms of things, 2 weeks is an
like
eternity.
17 years.
That's an eternity.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. That happened, and thankfully this is my third one, and it's holding up good so far.
It's been 7 days.
It's been 7.
And it only eats when I'm editing, though. So what I do is I like take an ice pack and I just stick it on the bottom to keep it like temperature like regulated and everything, and it works so far. So we're good. I'm just worried because I have so much footage on this computer.
Yeah,
I need to it's all backed up on iCloud and everything, but like I want to make sure it doesn't just die on me again, because like right now I need to have a computer every day because I can't afford to not upload for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
No, I have an extra hard drive sitting right here that I'm loading up, like it's right now uploading.
So do I.
Like thousands of hours.
Do yourself a favor and get a PC as soon as you possibly can. And yeah, just put money aside. Like if you're getting money on socials right now, like put a couple $100 aside every month, and like honestly, for less than $2,000 you can get a really good PC. And then for a couple $100 you can get like 10 terabyte backup drives and just pack them up,
Or you could just get 100 ice packs. way
Or
faster.
You could buy $2,000 worth of ice packs, and I'm just saying, like, it could work. Then you don't need a new computer. All right, this is not a computer episode, you guys. Come on, we're getting back to the fishing content. Let's Paul, tangent time. Tangent time is done.
You talked about musically. I feel like there's a lot of folks who are listening to this podcast specifically right now
Like
that
musically.
are saying, "Huh?
What's that?
What?" And they like have no idea what you're talking about. So explain.
So what were your favorite dances to do back in the day?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So the reason, I mean, like right now, everyone knows what TikTok is. It's the number one like social
1
media.
billion
platform.
people. 1
Right.
billion people.
So before TikTok, it was actually an app called Musical.ly, which I was not on, thankfully, and I refused to be on it, even after they rebranded themselves as TikTok. So there was a gap period, you know, the period when Larry first joined TikTok to where I actually joined. I was literally refusing to download it because I was like, yeah, there's no potential in this app. There's no way it could help me. It's just a way for people to like dance and stuff. So I vehemently hated it until one day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. It was 12 o'clock at night, so I downloaded it, uploaded a video of not even my fish, but it was a friend's fish. He was just holding it, and I'm like, okay, and there we go. We upload it, and then I go to bed not thinking much of it. And then the next morning, I woke up and I'm like, I had a dream that that TikTok got 300 views, because at that time my YouTube was probably averaging 50 views per video. So I was like, whoa, 300 views for a video that I just uploaded. So I get on my phone, check it, and sure enough, 300 views on that one video. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is pretty cool. So at that time, when I was making back then, like there was barely any fishing content on TikTok. For the content that was on there, it was all comedy. You know, that's all people were posting. So it's just comedy fishing stuff. I don't know if anyone remembers, like there was a really funny fishing trend back in the day where it was like you would take a clothes hanger and like take the hook part and like just pretend it's a fish hook, and then it would be like the joke would be like something about like a fish seeing a hook and then you'll get yanked off screen. But I attempted that. I made a video and then got like, I don't know, probably 500 likes. And then I was like, whoa, okay, this is maybe something I can just like start to experiment a little with. So that was for like around 2 weeks. I didn't tell anyone I had TikTok because I was still like, you know, TikTok was kind of frowned upon back then. So I was like, yep, not doing TikTok at all. So I was just
check out my videos. Give me a like.
So I was like, just finding spots in my house where like my sister wouldn't find me recording a TikTok. So I would do that, and eventually I went ahead and told everyone who's like really close friends with me or family members. I'm like, okay, I started doing this TikTok thing. It's kind of picking up. So it was about that whole summer of like 2020. That whole summer I was just making comedy TikToks. So that's all I did. Shall I go into talking more about the TikTok thing, or
yeah, man?
Yeah,
go nuts.
Let's do it, man. Where to go from there?
Okay, so the comedy stuff on TikTok obviously was doing really well. But then I guess it came to this year, like 2021, where I like started backing off from that stuff because the reason like comedy TikToks for fishing do phenomenal. Like it gets views and everything. However, there's only so many things you can make jokes about. So what I started noticing was like, you know, there'll be a couple other dozen creators making the same kind of videos, and then there was no originality behind it anymore. So I took a step back and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of change what I upload on TikTok to more of a like a vlog style type stuff, just kind of vlogging my regular fishing afternoon, trying to be more relatable with people, and it ended up working for me. So
Awesome.
Now you were on TikTok from, I'm not gonna say like day one, but very early on. Did you
Mhm.
find that like did you find that you got more exposure early on than you do now, like relatively? I mean, obviously you're a lot bigger, so
Did you
Yeah.
get
more
the
followers,
boost
but
from old TikTok?
No, I would say no. From the period where it was like the whole 2020 year, I probably gained probably 3,000 subs from TikTok alone. I mean, it was really this year where things started taking off for me. But
Mhm.
old TikTok, I mean, I obviously could have done something better to grow my other platforms, but it was mainly just me just trying to figure out the app, have fun with it.
it's funny.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. It's funny to say figure out the app because I'm 30.
Are you
30
questioning how old you are again?
Yeah, I'm either 34 or
You
35. So
guys, you guys, Paul has never known how old he is. He has no idea.
I'm like my
It's
dog. Like, I
not,
can't tell you how old my dog is. Like 10-ish.
dude. It's not a this year thing. Like
No, it's not. I
you've
went
been
to
doing that your whole life.
I
You
go
have no
to
idea.
I go to cross the Canadian border and I have to like check with my wife. Like if the guy's over here, I'll be like, I'm
I'm
26.
30.
26. Like
Four fives.
I have to check. So I'm like
What
30.
a
I think I'm
freaking
34 or
joke.
35. Anyways, and I do and I actually like do not like social media at all. Like I still don't have a Facebook.
You
I like
don't have a
refused to
Facebook.
get one. I deleted it like 15 years ago. Just out of spite, and I hated it, and it was like the best thing I ever did. And I like will randomly just like delete social media. It's like I deleted Twitter like years ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, I loved it. I'm still so happy about that decision.
Hey, nobody
Um,
had Facebook or Instagram today as of the recording of this episode.
yeah,
So
yeah, technically,
it did go
um,
down for a while.
yeah, but yeah, I like I'm out of social media like entirely. Didn't like use YouTube really. I mean, almost not at all. And
Mhm.
and then Jeff and I started doing this, and I was like, fine, I'll get on Instagram. This is stupid. And it took me about, what do you think, Jeff? Like 2 months, maybe 3 months to like figure it out and like
Yeah.
just start doing normal Instagram person things. It probably took me like 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
And it took me, I actually downloaded TikTok because a good friend of mine is like good at TikTok, and he got like has a huge following, and he was like, "Dude, you should download TikTok." And I was like, I'd
Do
like
you think?
sort of heard about it, but like had
Mhm.
no concept of like how it worked. Like I did not get it. Like when I first got it, I was like, "Dude, I don't even get it." I deleted it, and then Jeff was like, "We did a video with Rudd," and Rum was like, "Yeah, I got a video that had like 60,000 views," and Jeff and I were both like, "Holy crap!"
Yep.
So Jeff downloads it, posts a couple videos. They did really well, and Jeff's like, "You need to start making these." I was like, "Fine, I'll download TikTok." So I download TikTok, and then I went down the rabbit hole like one night, and I was like, "This is vile. I hate this. Like, I do not like this at all. I don't enjoy the unlimited scrolling. I did not like the content. Like, I knew that this was like super addictive, and I did not like it. So I
4 hours later.
well, no, I didn't touch it. I was like, dude, I'm not touching this app. This is not good for me. And so like I didn't
It's
touch it
dangerous.
for another couple months. And then Monster Bass started like sniffing around, being like, hey, like we're gonna start making some TikToks. And like I had noticed some other people posting them, and I was like, fine. Now I sit down and I will do like 8 or a dozen TikToks in like one night, and I'll like bang them out, and I will be sitting there laughing at my own TikToks harder than like anybody else's. And when they flop, like I don't care anymore. And I've like figured out a lot of tricks like in filming them because I do it all by myself. Like no one else films me, but I have to make it look like someone else is filming me. So I figured out like a lot of tricks for like making it look like I'm, being videoed or whatever. And now I'm lose.
Tripod.
Oh yeah, dude. So
Exactly.
I actually I have a couple of tripods. I have one of those.
You gotta have the
This,
tabletop
this,
one. You gotta have the
really,
yeah.
this is the most useful TikTok tool that I have. It's like a desk
Oh, the
clamp,
flexi. Yeah.
but it's got like a really flexible. This thing is clutch. It is. It shakes a little, so you gotta be careful when you hit the timer. I have to
Yep.
do like the 10-second timer. This thing is actually super clutch because you can like twist everything upside down and get it like right in front of your face on a desktop, and then you can immediately like just change the angle without like undoing a bunch of stuff. But anyways, yeah, like you figure out like a bunch of tricks. Like the timer actually has a thing where it'll like stop recording you, so you don't have to get the video of you like pressing the button. Like all those little things that like you figure out, and that took me like, I mean, it probably took me 3 or 4 months before I was like, I know what I'm doing. I can sit down and film a TikTok like on my own. It probably took like 3 or 4 months.
It's
I don't
tough,
know.
man. There's a lot that goes into it. I still
I feel like
avoid
it's
it entirely.
as like an older social media person, like I feel how long
two older gentlemen,
as potentially, you know, 65
somewhat
or 35. I'm not sure.
geriatric individuals.
But like how long do you think it would take? Like how long do you think it took you before you were like, I know what I'm doing with TikTok, and like I know my way around the app. I know how the algorithm's supposed to work. Like that whole thing. Like how long do you think it took
Allegedly.
you? Yeah, allegedly.
I still don't know the whole thing till this day. I mean, TikTok's constantly changing, so I'm always trying to keep up with it. Algorithm wise, I do have a general sense of which videos of mine will end up doing well, but then there's always those videos that's like, okay, I'm just making a video just because I want to put one out today, and then somehow it just blows up and gets a lot of views, and it's like I don't understand. But yeah, once again, I'm still learning TikTok. I have a lot to learn about it, but I mean, you learn from it from like how much you use it and everything. So for me, since I was like using it pretty daily, I got like the basics down pretty quick. But then there's still little tricks like with recording and like all these new what's it called effects.
Like yeah, like green screen and all like the
certain
random
effects, yeah.
effects of like some of those when you don't know what you're doing can be unbelievably frustrating.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
dude, I remember one of the which trend was it? Oh, it was the trend where like the Apple screen would stop you and it would like the thinking screen and it would stop the video because it was you had to like use
Oh,
two
yeah.
different effects like cutting the video. My brain for whatever reason like I could not get that one. I still haven't made one of those. It was a funny trend and I had like the funniest idea. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the funniest person in the world. And I was like, I quit. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't figure it out. And
Is it
like
the,
I'm sure.
the Bo Burnham laughing one?
Aha! Yeah,
Aha!
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it
I know
was
what
so funny. Yeah, I mean, now I could go do it in like 10 seconds, but like at the time, like starting to like figuring out, like my brain could not figure out how to make that work because some of those effects are actually pretty tricky, and like the way people use them, it's people are super creative because like the way some of those people like use those is like mind numbing. People are nuts, and like the only reason I've actually started to really like TikTok is because I realized that it's just YouTube, Twitter. Like if you were a heavy Twitter user or are,
140 characters or less.
I watched a video of one of my favorite creators, and he was like, I don't understand why people like Twitter. And he's like huge into TikTok. He makes like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of TikToks, and he's like thousands of TikToks. And he's like, I don't understand why people like Twitter. It makes no sense. And in my brain, I'm like, you're using video Twitter. Like right now,
Twitter.
you are on Twitter. It's just a video version of it, and I'm still. They are the same thing. Because people are just hilariously creative, though. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy how much creativity came out of a pandemic. Honestly, oh man, everything just freaked out on my computer. Anyways, how often are you posting per day, man?
Like TikTok wise?
Yeah.
It could be
like
from
a one a day, 2 a day.
Yeah, it's like right now for TikTok, it's like I post whenever I feel like it. It's not. I don't really set obligation for myself to actually post anymore. I'm like really casual with it. Sometimes you could see I go like 3 days without posting, or other times I go on streaks and just post. Really depends on what I'm doing. If it's something interesting and I want to like document it and just share it short form with my audience, I will just go and do that. Because with my fishing trips I take, I can like bang out TikToks really quickly because it's a lot of vlogging. But if I'm just like sitting at home like I was today, I'll just like make a video about like a bait I have that's like people may find interesting.
I love it. So I want to talk about the vlogs a little bit because I brought up your friends earlier and I want to bring them back. If you feel they deserve to be brought back, considering some of them caught fish bigger than you and shouldn't be your friends anymore. So when you drag them into your TikToks, how did they take that at first?
Oh
Or when
dear.
you dragged them into your videos too?
Okay, we can start with TikTok first. So back in 2020, I think it was during that summer. I went. I mean, like my friends would always like tease me back then, but I took him all fishing one time, and I'm like, we were wrapping up. We barely caught anything, but we were wrapping up, and I was like, hey guys, I got an idea, and I was like, okay, so there's this like comedy thing that I kind of want to do.
There's this TikTok trend.
Yeah,
He
I'm like,
said comedy thing because he didn't want to say TikTok.
I was like, would you guys want to help out? So all my friends were like, okay, sure, except for like one who was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not showing my face on camera. So we went ahead, got this thing filmed. It was really goofy, but the video ended up like 1.7 million views.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and like for my size back then, it was pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I mean, I still have my friend who was in that video. He still teases me today. He's like, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't be where you are today.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's what I
something
do to
like
Paul
that.
all the time.
And he's like, I'm waiting for my paycheck.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, as soon as I get mine, you can have none of it, nerd. All right. Chaz, stay behind the curtain. All right. We love you, Chaz. So yeah, no, I think it's funny, dude. And it's also funny that you brought up like the vlogging of the trips. I'm gonna be honest, whenever I catch your videos popping up in like my For You or whatever, I always catch like the middle of a trip. And I'm like, I wonder what happened on that trip. And then, TikTok hits and I keep scrolling and I'm like, I have no idea if Ryan ever completes his trips.
Right.
So I gotta like go to your page and see the
Did he
sequential
survive?
order. Yeah, did he
Yeah,
make it?
did you make it? Oh my god.
I mean, he's here now. I guess he did. But yeah. So which one of your friends like potentially is like always in your videos, and which ones have been in like once in a while, and then they're like, dude, I'm good. I don't want to be.
Yeah, I got a buddy named. Well, I got two friends who I like always fish with.
Mhm.
They're named Ethan and Nathan.
Mhm.
Ethan appears in like almost a lot of my content, but right
Mhm.
now they're at college. I'm actually taking a gap year to like pursue this like kind of YouTube fishing stuff right now. So I'm staying out of school for a whole year. So they're at school, so they don't fish with me as often anymore. So I got to find other people to fish with. But those two guys are probably people who appear on the camera the most. And then I got some other school friends who, before they also went off to college, they would appear in like maybe one or two. It wasn't like as constant as my friends Nathan and Ethan. But yeah.
Nice.
It's
Well,
fun-
tell them
it's-
school is for nerds, and they should come back and fish. I'm just
I
kidding.
want to talk about your gap year for a second, but before that, you mentioned like vlogging, like just kind of screwing around or whatever. Like one of the only social media, and I don't even treat it like social media, but like Snapchat is like my favorite social media of all time because it is like I feel no pressure making them, and I just like do what I think is
Yeah.
funny. But it's such a flexible, just like TikTok, and that's why I like TikTok. It's so flexible, and like I'm just trying to make myself laugh, and like hopefully someone else is enjoying it. Like that's how I do it. And so like the most successful TikToks that we've made are just me screwing around being a nerd. Like I'm just nerding out, and like those have been wildly successful. And it's funny because when Jeff and I are making YouTube videos, when we're making TikToks and stuff, I have like flashbacks to like middle school. And when I have two brothers, two younger brothers, and we got a video camera when we were in middle school, like a big old like freaking actual video camera,
Yep.
right?
Full VHS goes
Oh yeah,
into
we
it.
dude,
Yeah,
we
that
used
one.
to we used to make we used to make like Lego videos. We used to make like fighting
Yeah.
videos. We used to make like full dramas where someone dies. Like we made those videos constantly. We used to like blow stuff up on camera. Like we had that thing everywhere, and we were just messing around. Like no one was ever gonna see it except for us. But it feels so much like that, and like that's actually when I'm having the most fun is when like Jeff and I are just like screwing around and like ragging on each other or doing something dumb. Like we just did a video and we went like Jeff and I do exclusively kayak fishing. We have 14-foot long kayaks. Jeff's getting mad. I don't care. We have these like big kayaks and they're pedal kayaks and we're pedaling up this. There's like this lake that we were on. I know there's another lake back here, and the water was just I thought deep enough where like there's a little creek that like connects them. This thing is 2 feet wide and it's maybe a foot, 2 feet deep. And we're pedaling up and it's completely overgrown. I was like getting stuff ripped off my kayak. I lost like a pair of scissors, which I actually need to rebuy. That reminds me. And I have like, I had to like tuck away all the rods because they were getting pulled out by the trees and I can hear Jeff cussing up a storm behind me because he's like so mad and it's like super hot and rainy. So we all have like rain gear on. We're just pouring sweat. And like I'm just laughing, and I actually did a vlog of it that we're maybe gonna send to Hobie, who knows? And dude, and like I remember getting through there, and I got to a point where we could not there was no getting through
Couldn't
it
go
unless
any
I wanted.
further.
I probably could have. I'm gonna be honest, I probably could have, but I knew we were only 2/3 the way through, and I didn't know how thick it was gonna get, and I was like, Jeff's not gonna make it, so. Just try to turn around. It is an impossible turn. I had to get out of the boat into like the thickest brush. I had to pick up my boat over the edge of this thing and walk it around. Almost fell in twice. Got back in the kayak, and I just hear Jeff like, "Did you make it?" And I'm like, "No, no, I didn't. Actually, I'm coming your way." And he's like,
No, I said ram my boat so that I can turn around because I had backed into the brush and I was like legit. You remember Austin
T-bone.
Powers when
Yeah.
Austin Powers is trying to turn around the cart and he's like, beep.
He's in a tunnel and he's just going back and forth.
I was stuck in current, like,
Oh my God.
dude, it was so awful. But yeah,
those moments, I'm never having more fun than that. Like in that at that time, I could, and that's kind of what makes this.
those
stuff
were all
fun,
of
like,
our original TikToks. All of the original TikToks were just like we're fishing, and like multiple times a day, Paul would just cast his lure at me, and it would wrap around all of my fishing rods, and we'd be like, "That's a TikTok," and we just record it.
The best one is like I snagged a log, and we're in like in a current, we're in the river, and I like pretended like it was a giant fish, and then the joke was that like the fish was a maple tree, right? And
Or an oak. It was a
and
tree
I was just like making a really dumb joke, and that video got like 900,000, like almost 1 million views, and I just remember being like, yeah,
This
of
is
course this
dumb.
would be the one that does well. It's just I find that to
Yep.
be, and again, that's when I'm getting the most enjoyment. Like, so
Right.
I no longer care whether or not they do well or not, like, because I'm gonna go back and watch those, and like I just laugh at them. I have been in tears sitting on my floor, like right here at like 12:30, just laughing at my own TikTok. So I don't care. I laugh at my own jokes.
Not even filming TikToks. He's just there laughing at midnight. So let's talk about more current events. So you did this whole competition thingy, this creator competition for Catchco. How did you end up in that? And how did you beat everybody? Tell us your secret. Oh, we lost sound. Oh no, you're on mute.
I don't know if you can hear us.
We lost your sound. Currently, Ryan is giving us his rendition of how he destroyed the competition at Catchco, but we cannot hear him, and we don't know why. Oh no! Don't go! The frozen ice pack. Audio. Uh-oh.
Hear me?
Yep, gotcha now.
All right. I think I knew.
Stays in the flick.
They cut the recording. Okay.
Keep it in.
All right. So as I was saying, I was attending online school because that's what we did back then, And I was scrolling through Instagram because I was bored of class, and I saw that Ketchco posted something on their story about like win a boat. And I'm like,
Mhm.
win a boat. I'm like, okay, cool.
I
So
want to win a boat.
okay, I will be completely honest. I didn't know it was a competition. I thought you just had to apply and then you would just win the boat magically. So that's
Yes.
exactly what I did. I just took some time, made the application stuff, recorded the video, and then
Mhm.
I sent it in. And I was like, okay, maybe there's a small chance that I'll somehow win a boat from Ketchco. So then,
Yep.
like maybe a month later, I get a reply. It was in form of email, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey Ryan, sorry you didn't make it in." So I'm like, "Oh man," but it's all right. I just went about my day, and then I saw like a week later or something, the actual competition began. There was 10 contestants, and um, like maybe 2 days after it was already like happening, I got a call in the morning from one of the coordinators of the challenge, Katie. Shout out to you if you're watching this. She just called me and said, "Hey Ryan, one of the contestants actually dropped out. Would you be interested in like just joining, joining back in?" And I'm like,
Wow.
"Sure, why not? I mean, I'll just go for it. Do it for fun." So it was at that time where I actually figured out like there was rules to this competition. It was a competition. There was stuff I was supposed to do. So every week I had like they sent me a box. Literally the next day, a big box appeared at my front door that had like 5 of these things.
Yeah.
Each box contained like a challenge and some baits to use. And I wasn't allowed to like open them all at once, only
Yeah.
one per week. So make a video and then let your audience vote, and then also let the judges, the 3 judges, cast their votes. So I went ahead and just did that. All like I went through the whole challenge just having fun. Didn't really
Nice.
think. The funny thing was I didn't even think of getting eliminated. Like I didn't have the expectation of getting eliminated, even though I was, just purely doing it for the fun of it. So it comes to the final 4, and then I'm somehow still in the competition. So I'm like, okay, this is actually getting serious now. I'm either going to be eliminated or I'm going to like just keep on moving on. So then it carries on, and then somehow I'm in the finals. So then this is where like things actually get serious and like my nerves actually turn on. So
I thought you said nerds, and I was like, yes.
yeah, my
Nerds are always on, bro.
Yeah, so I submitted the video, posted it, got people to vote, got the judges voted behind the scenes, and then like the day before the results came out, I was like so nervous I couldn't sleep because I was like, oh man, this is kind of serious. So so I'm like, usually the results came out around 1 to 2 p.m. So the
Mhm.
next day, it was a Monday. I'm just sitting there waiting for like, I don't know, a call or something. And then it goes, time flies, and it's like sooner or later, it's already 4 p.m. and still no word. Nothing on Instagram, nothing. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I just go about my day, get in the car, I'm driving somewhere, and then it's like 6 p.m. And then all of a sudden my phone rings, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up, and then it's Katie, and she's like talking, and then she's like, I remember she was like, "How are you?" I'm like, I'm doing good, but then like, well, knowing that I'm super nervous, so so she's like, well, that's good because you are actually the winner, and I'm like, whoa, I was like, hold up, wait. So then everything just kind of went on from there. Um, it was from that challenge that Lojo kind of discovered who I was, and then later I got a DM from him, and he invited me down to Bama. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I talked to my parents, and they were like, okay, cool, we'll go down for vacation, and you can go fish with Lojo at the same time. So we did that during the summer. and then just did some other collabs down there. And then sooner or later, I'm just like I have a collab almost every single few weeks. So
That's so awesome, dude. Like the fact that you were a callback, like you weren't even in the competition,
Right.
let alone knew
Yeah.
it was a competition.
Mhm.
That's such a
I
great
literally,
story.
I have my friends telling me how like it was a perfect Cinderella story, because
Yeah.
I like it still like shocks me to this day, how like yeah, I was a callback and how I joined in late. Everyone was already prepped and knew what to do. I
Yeah.
joined in like halfway throughout the first week of that competition without knowing anything. I thought I was just gonna get a boat at first. So,
Bro, you're
so
handing out boats now? Cool.
yeah.
I love it.
Whoa, this is an actual competition. I actually got to do something, and
Yeah.
it was a little weird with like scheduling my videos because like I actually was going to the Classic at Dallas,
Mhm.
and that was like kind of it took away half of my recording time for one of the weeks for
Yep.
the third week challenge or something. So I really had to like just rush it. Like I recorded it in one day and got it edited the next, I think. And then I flew out to Dallas the next day. And then I actually met some other competitors there too, which was pretty
Oh,
cool.
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there trash talking involved there?
No.
Oh,
At that
come
point,
on.
well, everyone I met was still in the competition at that point because they were like kind of slow with coming out with the results.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't come out immediately, so I met some people there, and yeah, everyone was friendly. We all chatted it up, made friends with people, and then I got back to Virginia and then had to record week 4, which is the final video.
Yep.
Not even knowing if I was eliminated or moving on, because that's how late like we were informed of like if we were making it or not. So that was one thing I was a little frustrated with because I was like, here I am filming a video, and if you go watch that week 4 video, you will literally hear me say like, I don't know if I'm actually in it or
Might
not.
not be
You
here,
guys
yeah.
just like for those of you guys watching this when I'm posting this a week later, you guys just vote for whoever is still in the competition.
Maybe me, maybe somebody else.
Maybe me, who
Right,
knows?
exactly. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I had to do. And yeah,
That's cool, man. So what's the word on the boat? Like, do you have the boat yet, or is it something you're still waiting on?
it's sitting in my garage at this moment. I picked it up like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
It took him 3 months to get it to me because they actually had to build it. They didn't have it in inventory, so they actually had to
Mhm.
build it right after I won the challenge. And then they
Wow.
went ahead and shipped it over to a nearby dealership where I actually went and picked it up. And then now I can't use it because I don't have it registered or anything correctly. Not yet, because I just got the papers. And then
Yeah.
I got the boat registered at the moment, but the trailer still needs to get registered. And you know in Virginia we have a DMV, and
Yep.
it's slow. So tomorrow I'm hoping I can, because tomorrow the DMV like they open up like the in-person walk-in services. So hopefully
Mhm.
I'll be able to get that taken care of, and then Wednesday and Thursday I'll actually be able to start filming with the boat. That's the hope. Um, it's all up in the air, but I'm just glad to have it at this moment.
Dude, that's going to be nuts and definitely a game changer for you. And for those of you who don't know how fast or slow the DMV is, if you're a Disney fan or you have Disney Plus, watch Zootopia. The DMV is run by sloths. All sloths. It's
Gotta
that
be.
slow. I lived in Virginia for 4 years. The DMV is an absolute nightmare. And we have the Secretary of State in Michigan, and only actually no, during the pandemic it was so much worse because like you would have to sit out in your car and they would like they'd call you in or you'd have an appointment, then you'd go up to a door, but like all the SOS, all the Secretary of States are like in a building in another unit, and
Yes.
you would like go to the front door and be like, "Is this a door?" And then you like walk down a hall and there'd be nobody there, and you'd be like, "Is this a
Yeah.
door?" And you like go to the door and you like knock, and they're not polite. So even though we're in the Midwest, but yeah, dude, I understand your pain. I did register a boat once. I think Paul did too, and we had boats at a time and we got rid of them. So we we're sorry for you on the registration part, but it's gonna be sweet once you get to go
It
out
is,
there.
yeah.
I'm
Once
sure
I
it's
get
rigged up. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
they
got
get hooked you up.
I got a whole trolling motor set up in the front. It's not like one of those fancy foot pedal ones, but it's one of those ones with a hand. But I like
Sure.
went ahead and switched the head and turned it 180 to where I can like use it as like a front
Yep.
trolling motor. And then I got a deeper fish sonar, which I'm gonna use as like my main sonar on there. I'm just gonna like I have a little
Arm.
an arm to
Yeah.
like hold it in the water. So that's kind of the rig I'm running right now. Can't wait to take it out, but then again, I don't know when I will be able to.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, you'll get out there soon. So yeah, you're in Virginia. You like where at in Virginia are you?
Richmond.
Richmond. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys get winter, but not like winter. You don't you don't get what we get up here. So I mean, you still got some time. You can get it registered. You can get out there. That'll be
Oh
cool.
yeah,
And then
I think it'll be out on the water at latest by next week. Because all I gotta get is this trailer stuff. The boat's all ready to go. So
Mhm. Awesome.
To talk about taking a gap year, how did that conversation go with your parents?
yeah. So you know what's funny? I wasn't the one who thought of it. My parents were the ones who were like, "Hey Ryan, we noticed that like you're kind of like not really ready for school since you've been like so focused on this YouTube fishing stuff.
Yeah.
It might be better if you like take a gap year just so you can like understand more of what you want to get out of college before you get there." So then I was like, that's a good idea. But the problem is the university I was going to, the deadline for gap year applications was last month. Like, so I was like, yeah, so I don't know about that. But I went ahead, spent the next few days literally just writing a whole letter that was like several paragraphs long, just explaining. It was like a gap year application, but
Mhm.
it was just explaining to the college that I was gonna go back, but I was gonna use this gap year wisely and listed out what I was planning to do with it. And so far, I've done most of those things, like traveling and collabs and filming for like MTB and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
so then magically they were sorry, there's a cricket in my basement.
I was wondering what was going on. It's like,
hold
there's
on.
A real cricket, not an
A
iPhone
real
cricket.
Let me throw
yo,
this frog
this
at
cricket
it.
is talking trash. Like,
Yeah.
every time you're talking, this cricket's like, "Yo, I'm bored."
That never happened.
It's a lie.
I've been in his garage. There's no boat in there.
I've been here forever. Is right over there. Sure it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
I was out on the
He's just fucking baits at it.
If you guys are listening, he's throwing frogs at a cricket
I
right
literally
now.
have all this ammunition to throw at it.
He's
But
just-
I was out on the water filming like a roulette challenge with my mystery tackle boxes, and then I got an email and I checked it, and then sure enough, the dean of admissions literally he wrote back and he was like, although it's well past your deadline, we will grant your request for a gap year. And I'm like,
nice.
I was like celebrating so hard because I was like, yes, I don't have to go to school for a year, and I can also focus on my content. So that's how my gap year came to be.
What a freaking blessing. Kudos to your parents. I mean, I'm not going to say.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that they just didn't want to pay the bill, but I think that it's probably more than that. But I think that's super cool that they recognized that it was something that you're passionate about and brought it up to you. Because I think a lot of parents, they may have that thought, but they would be like, they wouldn't encourage you to go after it. Even if they said something, they'd be like, yeah, but that's a horrible idea, right?
It's also kind of
good on
against
them.
the grain, at least of like
Oh, yeah.
previous decades. Not so much like 2021. I don't feel 2020, 2021 here. Like things are kind of changing, but I mean, do you have a Scumfrog launch series? Like that's what you should probably be throwing. Do you have any like 1 ounce frogs? Yeah, yep.
He's
There it is.
holding
All right. Just make a frog cannon.
I'm running out of frogs. Oh no, but
Oh no.
yeah, I mean, I thank God every day for my parents. They've supported me throughout, like even when I was first starting out to now. The support is still the same, and without them, I wouldn't be anywhere close to what I'm doing right now. So
Still be editing on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Maybe even not that because you wouldn't have
Wouldn't have a
50% of
phone.
a GoPro 7. So yeah, you definitely own. I think that's really cool. Especially I said like I admire people who know themselves well enough to go chase something down that they really care about, and they know themselves enough to know that they shouldn't be wasting their time doing other things. I also admire people who see that in other people, right? So your parents seeing that in you, I think that's really, really
And it's cool that you're doing this all at 18, dude. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. So jealous.
R.I.P. to our lives. We both have 2 kids, so like, and Paul's so much younger than mine. So yeah, it is. You think about those times where you're just like, you know what, I kind of want to go fishing today, and then you just go.
Oh
Yeah, we don't do that.
I remember when I think about, and this is not to denigrate my current life because I'm thrilled with the way my life has turned out, but I remember being in my early 20s and being like,
Go.
no, I I was playing competitive rugby, and my schedule was Monday work then fish, Tuesday work then rugby, Wednesday work then fish, Thursday work then rugby, Friday work then fish, Saturday fish then go hang out with my girlfriend, Sunday fish, and it was like that there was like a good year and a half. That was it. Like that was the whole schedule, and yeah, I mean you can't get that time back. Like that will. I mean I'll be 55 before I get to.
God. Hey, it's not too far away. I mean, we're pretty old. All right, so what do you say we do a little slow rolling thunder with this guy, huh?
I like it. So
Let's
the
do
slow
it.
rolling thunder. So for those of you that are listening, question 1. The first question is going to be the one that I'm going to want you all in your comment when you want to win this giveaway. When you comment on this YouTube video, when you want to win your comment, I want to hear your answer to this question along with Ryan's answer to this question.
And if it leans towards my choice, then you have a better chance of winning.
Okay.
Win it.
All right. Don't listen to Jeff. So if your comment is randomly selected, you will be the person who wins a $25 gift card to Monster Bass. Thank you, Monster Bass, for supporting this show and being an awesome place to go buy baits. Sorry, Ryan. I know you're a mystery tackle box guy. I'm sure they make a box
these
too.
are on Monster Bass.
I'm sure they make a box too. But yeah,
I'm
if you
sure
want to
they
get this
make
t-shirt,
okay things that are
if you want to
fine.
get the hat that Jeff has, you can go on to monsterbass.com and get that as well. So leave your comment, answer this first question. So Ryan, the way this works, I'm just going to answer some questions. These are fun questions, kind of like Q the D, but you get a little more time to go with it. So
more fun.
yeah, more fun. So all right. Question 1. In your fishing shirt when you're out fishing, your long sleeve, fishing shirt, do you prefer a hood with your fishing shirt or no hood on your fishing shirt?
Hood.
Yeah, we're catching up, Chaz.
No, I think you're two up.
Chaz, hoods are catching up.
Yeah,
he said hood.
Two up. Dang it.
Am
It was
I
very
2 up?
definitive. I think you're 2 up.
Oh, you didn't even
Jeff
think
and I,
about it.
Jeff and I are divided on this one. And to be fair, so is the Burly crew. The
crew is divided. It's a close match right now. with the guests, we keep track of all the guests that say hood or no hood, and also a later question as well. But that one's more unanimous. Okay. But with this one, this is where BurlyFishing almost might not make it to episode 87. So I don't know. I'm 1 behind still.
2 up.
All right, thread, aka not live chat. Come on, support support me.
All right. So next question. What is your fishing footwear of choice?
Sandals.
Sandals. Okay.
Flip flops.
Okay.
Well, I'm surprised at the number of people that don't answer flip flops. To be honest, we get a lot of
Yeah.
tennis shoes and we get a lot of Crocs. I don't get nearly as many sandals as I would have thought.
Chaz is barefoot.
know that,
Although
Chaz,
we're typically barefoot in our kayaks. Like if it's in the kayak, I'm barefoot.
Right.
And
Fair.
we get yelled at all the time. Everybody's like, "You're gonna get in trouble in your foot."
I
I'm
hate
like,
saying
"Bro."
I hate it when you bring that up because I know that I'm just future jinxing myself. I was wearing jeans and I did have a treble from a big crankbait go through my jeans, and that was actually really frustrating because like you have to cut it out.
Yeah, it's the
and
worst.
I was
Now
like,
you have a
there's
hole
just
in
like
your jeans.
2 perfect holes in my jean and like the
Yep.
calf, and I'm like,
Also, you put Mike the Pike through your back this weekend.
I did put Mike the Pike in my back. If you don't know Mike the
So-
Pike, it's like a 7 or 8 inch like swim bait.
Weston, it's
Yeah.
a Weston 1 to 3 foot diving or 1 to 3 meter diving.
And it's got a
pike bait.
huge treble. And I went right in my back and I was like, that's so hooked.
It was spinal.
Yeah. So then next question. I love this question. What app do you use the most on your phone that is not work, social media, or music related? You can consult your iPhone if you really need to look.
You can consult your app usage in settings.
I need to go do that.
Yeah, you do. Screen time. I gotta say, screen time is the worst.
Oh, it's horrific.
It's the worst thing iPhone ever added. Like
Hate it.
Apple, cut it out. I don't need.
Why
to
are
know.
you so accusatory?
Yeah, don't tell me how much of a d-bag I am. Like, oh, your screen time's up 7% this week. Like, well, thanks.
6,000 hours.
6,000 hours. Chaz is showing weather. So Ryan,
Weather
what is
might be
yours?
one, but for me, it might be the Bible app.
Okay.
Oh. So, well, like, what is the Bible app doing? Like, are you reading the Bible? Is it like giving you scripture? Like, what is
Yeah.
It's just
So
like a
one-
searchable Bible.
Yeah, it's like one thing I do with my friends is like every morning we wake up and then actually FaceTime each other and then read like a verse of the day from that app just to get our day started. That's what we
Okay.
do.
That's really
Cool.
cool. Good for you,
like
man.
it.
I wish I had friends that I could FaceTime early. If I call Jeff early, he like punches me through my phone. It's not pretty.
Don't do it. Yeah, you can call Chaz. Don't call me. Chaz is usually still awake from like the night before.
Prior, yeah. Oh, God. All right. If you were just to go fun fishing and you knew you were not going to record anything, what are you going to be doing?
Just going, I would most likely just go fish my neighborhood pond, which I could literally walk or bike to. Just take like maybe 2 rods with me, one for finesse, one for like more power fishing, and just have fun because that's kind of where I started fishing for bass in the first place. So I actually do that quite a lot. I don't record as much as I should be, I guess, but I always have. I like to have a balance of like fun fishing and then like work fishing, because if I'm just like constantly filming videos while I'm fishing, I'm gonna lose it, you know. I'm gonna lose my sanity. I need to have that time when I have no camera on me and just literally going out there and fishing because I like fishing.
Dude, that's
What
such
an
a tough line.
what an unbelievable luxury. That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard, and good
No.
for you for claiming your time.
Paul and I legitimately also call it fun and work fishing. But here's the deal. We don't have enough time to go fishing, so
Yeah.
we only work fish. Dang it.
I
But
will
yeah,
say,
if
though-
you can go, that's awesome. Like just
Yeah.
mentally the fatigue, I'm with you 100%. If you can just not have the camera on, or you're just like talking to yourself and you're just like feeling like you're talking to the audience, you're like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. And you can just be yourself and be like, hey, me, I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna throw whatever the heck I want. And if I don't catch anything, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right? Like that is completely necessary. And I'm glad that you recognize that right now, because it's gonna mean less burnout,
does.
less fatigue for
They're
sure.
really good on you. Jeff and I have to like manufacture those things because I think it gets tough when you're not catching.
Yeah.
Like Jeff and I just went on a trip day before
Someone
yesterday
had a
or
rough
yesterday,
day.
and I had like the best day of fishing I've had in a long, long time. Like it's the
Mhm.
worst bass thumb I've ever had. Like I have actual cuts. It's amazing.
Gangrene.
And but like when you're not having those days, like it does become work. It really does because you're like, I have to make this a video. I'm not gonna be able to
If I don't
film. I
catch
gotta
a
post 3
fish,
times a week, like that whole thing. And when you go through like a rut, like when the weather sucks and you know you got to fish anyways and you're not catching, all of a sudden,
Yep.
yeah, it gets real hard. But we have manufactured, I think ultralight fishing saved us this year. Ultralight fishing has become so enjoyable. The amount of enjoyment that we get from doing it, like so outweighs the amount of work that needs to be done to make the video. And we have had some,
Yep.
like, we've had probably 4 unbelievable trips ultralight fishing in the river this year. And
Yep.
it has
Just waiting.
totally outweighed like all it like as a cure-all. I mean, I leave those weekends and I've just been like, I'm like a 6-year-old. It's
Oh
the
yeah, I
greatest
love
thing.
this.
Dude, it is. It's been a revelation this year. It really has been. All right. Best breakfast food item.
Oh, I like the traditional bacon, eggs, and maybe a waffle. It's like
Ooh.
us.
What kind of eggs?
kind of
How do we do our how do we do our eggs first?
Scrambled.
Scrambled eggs.
Always
Just like that.
scrambled and cooked in the bacon fat.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then
yeah,
with a
100%.
side of ketchup for the eggs.
You catch up your eggs?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know about that.
Well, this was a fun podcast. I've enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
he made it to the end, you guys. He
made
made it to the end.
Close.
Oh man. It's
Oh,
like the
wow, that
final
makes
lap
no
in
mistake.
NASCAR, he just like turned into a wall.
Yeah.
Gosh.
What if I could just win? What if you slingshot me?
Then how would I win? All right.
So how?
Well, you know what? To each their own. What about this waffle though? I need to hear about this waffle.
Yeah.
It's just a regular waffle. If there's some syrup on it, it's nice. But then I can also like put the eggs and bacon on it, and then just like eat it like a sandwich.
With no ketchup.
But not the
yeah, sure.
ketchup.
Sometimes it makes its way in there.
Oh my. All right, all
Hold on, what
right.
kind of bacon? What kind of bacon though? How do we like our bacon? This is important stuff, folks.
It's true.
I don't like bacon that's like super crispy. That's one thing. I like it
Okay.
with like. I like it soft and like fatty.
50-50. Yeah.
Okay. That's
I dig
fair.
it. There's no bad bacon. There's really no bad answer there. I was trying to give you a
Okay.
redemption run. Well done.
Yeah,
Okay, go
Chaz
away, Toss.
doesn't believe
Thanks for
in-
nothing. Meet
in
yourself
bacon.
again.
Thanks for nothing.
Oh,
Yourself.
God.
And now you can see why this is called the slow rolling thunder round now. Like, It
Yeah.
used to be lightning round. We can't.
So
we can't
slow
go
rolling
further.
thunder. All right, last
Yeah.
question. Favorite gas station snack? And which
Gas
gas station? That's important too.
We don't have any Buc-ee's in Virginia, so I mean, I literally go to any gas station I can. I think gummies are the way to go.
Ooh, like troll worms, sour worms.
Yeah, what kind of
Like, what are
gummies?
we talking about? That's a broad category.
Very broad.
Right. Like
You have to buy them behind the gas station. Like, what are we talking about?
No. He's 18.
Okay, gummy bears, gummy worms, like the Haribo trolley stuff.
Okay, so like
Okay.
traditional. I like it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
traditional.
Good answer.
I dig it. I dig that. What? All right. So you don't have any like Loves down there? You gotta have like Loves gas stations, right? Like a
We do,
Wawa.
but yeah, we got Wawa too. We got
Yeah.
7-Eleven. We got Sheets.
Oh,
all
Sheets
that
is
stuff.
good.
Oh yeah, Sheets.
You get a full-on buffet.
Yeah, Sheets is the jam. All right, well, you got some spots. I'll dude the gummy worms. Good play. I actually brought them on our trip like just the other week. I was like, hey man, we don't catch anything. We're just gonna throw these on a little 1/32 ounce jig, and we're probably gonna catch some fish. So
I love
all
it.
right.
That was all
great
we had.
round.
Yeah, that's
Choose the winner. I'm just kidding. We're gonna choose a random comment now. So if you guys listen to this,
Okay.
he did it again, you guys. All right, so here's the deal. If you guys want to make sure Fish in the Southeast does not win, just comment below, and the more of you that do it, the less likely Fish in the Southeast is to win the giveaway.
I
And just
feel
so
like
you know,
the
Ryan,
more the more comments they get, the more likely he is to hack us again and ipso facto make himself win again.
And also take all of our social identities away, and then we're done. All right. So, Ryan, just so you know, there's this kid that has won like multiple of our giveaways, multiple Debo's fishing giveaways, multiple monster bass giveaways. And we feel like he just has a room in his house that's full of servers, and he's just like
Yeah.
hacking everything. It's absurd. But anyways, more power to him. He's got a golden horseshoe in his house or something. But you guys know the drill. Comment below, and it is your answer to question number 1 from Slow Rolling Thunder, which was hood or no hood. The correct answer is hood. But if you go ahead and just comment that below, that would be super great. And then we're going to choose a random comment by Sunday evening. It's October 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Paul and I, all things go well, we'll be driving back from St. Lawrence 9 hours. So I'll just pick it on the drive, and I'll comment back. So make sure your notifications are on. All right. But hey, here's the part of the show where you guys find out where to find Ryan. So Ryan, where should they be looking for you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube just under the name Fisher Yin. I'm actually on 2% for my computer right now. So if I just like disappear, you know what happens.
Speed round.
Okay?
Speed round.
You'll know that the cricket didn't come and get me. So,
Okay.
So yeah, that's my social media handle. It's pretty simple. Fisher, and then YIN. Fisher Yin. Yin is my last name. It's a play on words, just like Fisherman without the man plus my last name. So.
Got it. I dig it. All right, you guys. Fisher Yin is the screen name, and also on YouTube and also on TikTok and all over the place. So go look him up. Go follow him. Go like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. Do all the things for our guy here. He's 18. He's crushing it. We're super proud of him, and it's awesome. And also, he just won a whole bunch of tackle and a boat. So gosh dang, if that ain't cool. But hey, man, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you. And Chaz, take us out of here.